the antecedent unless it's an only if. You say, well, how does that help me here? Well, what I'm asking you to do is think about this implies and ask yourself, does that mean if to you or does it mean then? Well, to me it means then. If this, then that. So there's this implicit if, B, then C, and so it would just be this, okay? So implies, think of implies as a then, okay? Because implies means, and so such and such follows. 16, Bob likes beagles, and then we have on the condition that Al likes Airedales, okay? What does that translate to in your mind? Is that saying if or is it saying then? If, right? Yeah, you get to go to Chuck E. Cheese if you clean up your room. If you clean up your room, you get to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Does everybody understand that? So that's an if. This is an if. And our rule is whatever follows the if is the antecedent unless it's an only if, but this is an if. And antecedents go where? In front. So we move the A over here, and that means the B's got to go there. Everybody understand that? Okay. 17. If Bob likes beagles, then Bob likes beagles. So if B, then B. So that's B, horseshoe, B. No great mystery there. 18. Provided, and then it says Al likes Airedales, comma, Bob likes beagles. Okay. What does provided mean? If or then? Provided you do your homework, it means if. So this is if, and so this comma is doing the work of a then. We often don't say then, we just use a comma. So it's just this, A, hook, B. Okay. 19. Darla has a wiener dog given Al likes Airedales. So this is going to be a horseshoe again. Let's use our whatever follows if rule, so we have to decide what given means, and it means what? If. So whatever follows if is the antecedent. Antecedents go in front, so we have to say A, then D. Okay. 20. Provided, I feel like, am I repeating myself? No. Provided.
You are repeating yourself.
What number am I supposed to be on?
18, you skipped 18 entirely.
I skipped 18?
Yeah. You
Okay.
skipped 18 because it's supposed to be C, only if A.
Okay, so I skipped, so when I said 18, I skipped, I did the wrong problem.
Yeah.
This is actually 19, right?
That's 20.
And this one's 20?
No, 19, the first one is 20. Yeah.
This
You
one's
just skipped
20?
18, yes.
What's this one?
That's 19.
Oh my gosh, I need to stop drinking before I come to class. So let's go back. Which one did I skip?
You skipped 18.
18. Okay. Catherine has a Catahoula only if, yeah, this is an important one to do, Al likes Airedales. Okay. So we're going to use our rule. Whatever follows if is the antecedent, unless it's an only if. So this is not the antecedent. If it's not the antecedent, it's a consequent, and a consequent goes behind. So it's C, then A. Everybody got that? Okay. So I've done 19,
Yes,
and I've done 20?
yes.
No more crap for me. So I'm on 21?
Yes.
Okay. Thank goodness someone knows what I'm doing. 21. Catherine Hezekiah, if and only if Bob likes beagles. Now, if you look in chapter, you'll see that if and only if is not a conditional, it's a different thing. It's a biconditional. And so what we would get is C triple bar B. And it doesn't matter the order that you put the C and the B in, but I prefer that you just do them in the order that they appear, okay? Logically speaking, this and this are the same thing, okay? All right, so if you see if by itself, that's one thing. If you see only if by itself, that's another thing. But if you see if and only if, it's a biconditional, right? If you just see the if, it's a conditional. If you see only if, it's a conditional. But you see if and only if, it's a biconditional. Okay. 22 says Bob likes beagles. Then it says IFF, Darla has a wiener dog. This is just to remind you that IFF is shorthand notation for if and only if, so we get this. Okay. 23. L likes Airedales. Or, and it says Bob doesn't like beagles, and that's not B, because B is Bob likes beagles, okay? So we get A or not B. That's how we do it. 24. Okay, now 24 is a little bit tricky. Remember our wedge is inclusive or. So 24 says Al likes Airedales, or Al doesn't like Airedales, so not A. Okay, so that's A or not A. Okay. Now, our or is inclusive, right? Which means one or the other or both. Can we have A and not A? No, you can't have those at the same time. So really, we need to make this an exclusive or, so we need to say and not A and not A. It's this that we add on to make an or an exclusive or. Does everybody understand that? So if we had something like this, A or B, and we knew both of these couldn't be true, we would have to add on, but not both A and B. Does everybody understand that? If we knew that A and B both couldn't be true at the same time. Okay. And that leaves us with 25. Al likes Airedales, that's A, only if Bob doesn't like beagles. Bob likes beagles is B, so we need a not B, okay? Only if. This is gonna be a conditional. And let's think about a rule. Whatever follows if is the antecedent, so that's the antecedent. Unless it's an only if. Oh, that's not the antecedent. It's the consequent. The consequent goes here, so not B, and the antecedent goes in front. There you go. Everybody got that? All right. So that's 2.1. All right. Now, stay on the homework pages for a minute, because I'm going to explain the next section just by starting to do some of the homework. So I'm going to be starting to do some of the homework on 2.2, but let me say some preliminary words, okay? Right now, I want to explain something. I'm going to use math as an analogy, okay? And math, we're going to use as an analogy several times in here, but at certain places, the analogy breaks down, and I will say, hey, you think you can do this because it parallels math, but you can't, okay? All right, so in mathematics, we have an order of operations. What's our little phrase that helps us remember order operations and mathematical operations?
PEMDAS.
Yes, okay. All right. In logic, we don't have order of operations, okay? So if we have a mathematical statement like this, 3 plus 4 divided by 7, we would know that we should do what? This and then add the 3. Does everybody understand that? But if we had something similar in logic, like we had this, A and B, then C, now we don't know what it is to do an operation in logic yet, but since we don't have an order of operations established, we have to rely on parentheses. So this is logically ambiguous, and there is a big difference between this and that. Does everybody understand? Okay.